Yes. So thank you for coming. And I just want to introduce everyone. If there's anybody who doesn't know who Ken is BTA's CEO, and he'll be chatting with us today about the Nexus 9K health assessment. So, we'll get into a few more details, Ken, but what do you think the overarching theme of this this session will be?
It's really about helping people understand what the 9K assessment program is about. It's really about health and operational stability of customer Nexus 9K fabrics, whether it's ACI or NXOS. These things are living, breathing entities, and their hosts are always getting added or removed, or use cases may be changing over time. And the purpose of the health assessment is really, it's multifold. It's around does your initial deployment and use cases that you deployed to still meet your current needs? Are you following Cisco recommended practices or best practices? Are you following industry best practices? Those kinds of things. Does that think that hits the high points?
Absolutely. So who is this assessment for?
It's really for anybody, any organization that has Nexus 9K in their data center, whether it's 3-leaf fabric, 200-leaf fabric, it doesn't really matter. You should be taking a look at these things regularly, whether you're doing it yourself, you're bringing in a third party. Sometimes you have to do this for compliance. Get a checkup, make sure your software is up to date. That you don't have any software that's vulnerable to a CVE or any kind of service impacting bugs that could affect the availability of your workloads.
Okay. And what are some common things that you see that have happened from people? I know you gave us, some use cases of why people would need to do an assessment, but what have you seen as the fallout of people not taking care of their network health?
It's really about downtime. Downtime is everybody's enemy, and it's the thing that keeps us up at night. Nobody likes to get that call at 2 a.m. And so being proactive about health checks and validating procedures helps prevent downtime. It's just good IT and business practice. It doesn't matter which management methodology you ascribe to. Constant monitoring and assessment of your environment is critical.
Absolutely. So can you let us know what is included in the assessment on a deeper level?
Sure. So we start out, we send out a data gathering package for the assessment. There's some scripts that we've run that captures a backup, looks at some live data. And we take that and we pull that into a tool that helps us analyze that information and present it back to the customer in a consumable way. There's a document at the end that essentially it's an as-built document. It's a best practices check. There's a number of recommendations that we'll make based on what we find. We also do a light training assessment. A lot of times customers have personnel transitions, and the people that installed the fabric 2, 3, 4 years ago are not the same people that are running the fabric today. And if they don't maintain good run books or good operational procedures, it may turn into this thing that people don't want to touch because they don't want to break it. And our goal with these health checks is to identify these areas and help put in place some plans to help customers become more operationally competent and confident in operating and maintaining their data center fabrics.
That's great, Ken. Can you give an example of an assessment BTA has done and how we made a difference in the data center?
Yeah, we've done a number of these over the years, and this particular program, this is a more narrow focused one, but we look at like the top 10 to 12 best practices. What may have been a good practice or a best practice 3 or 4 years ago may change with software releases. We see that quite a bit. So they may have installed with 2X software, early 3X software when it comes to ACI, let's say. And after a software upgrade, what used to be a default isn't a default now, or something like that. We see a lot of, I was on the phone with a customer this morning that has a very complex set of policies that they admitted were very challenging for them to troubleshoot when they get trouble tickets on connectivity issues. And looking at how things were provisioned, it was pretty obvious that people weren't following a set of processes and procedures. They were just configuring something new every time. And it wasn't consistent because they're not using automation. Right. That's the other thing. We identify opportunities to automate things. If there's a very common use case, that's always something that's a great candidate to automate. And we can help customers down those paths with respect to automation.
Excellent. Well, I mean, I think from everything you've just said, this is a tremendous value. And, thanks so much. It's a great offer from Cisco and BTA. And I just want to know if you have any last words for our audience.
Our focus is really to help customers adopt and become operationally confident and operationally ready with their environment, whether it's an environment that's been in for a while or if we're doing net new deployments. You can't do those things unless you've got really well-defined use cases for flows and requirements. If you don't have good procedures, you don't know what things look like. What should you be doing daily, weekly, monthly to take care of things? What do you need to look at every day? What do you need to do once a month? Every 6 months, you should be upgrading your software. Cisco does major feature releases every 6 months. And then there's all kinds of great tools that Cisco's come out with around Nexus Dashboard, Nexus Insights, and their day 2 ops platforms that you can take advantage of. Those are things, when we finish the assessment, we actually give you an overview of what these tools look like so you can become more operationally competent and confident and have a fabric that meets your business needs.
Excellent. Well, I want to thank you so much, Ken, for your insight and knowledge and explaining everything to our audience today. And if anyone's interested in this assessment, there's a link in the comments of the event. So if that's all you have for us, Ken.
Great. Thank you, everybody, for your time. Hope to talk to some of you. I do sit in on some of these assessments like I did this morning. You might meet me. You might meet one of our very talented architects or engineers. But again, we look forward to working with you. Thank you very much.
Thank you.